feeding.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
We are off and running. It is going to be a very interesting day, Brigade. How are you? Welcome into the Bostonian versus the book with the book on the East Coast. I am Matt Perrault, and the one and the only Emerson Lotzia is going to sit in, not just today.
Come here, lovers.
Tomorrow.
Come here.
He is ready to go, guys. He is all excited and fired up to rock with us here for the next hour and a half, 2 hours. I think Dave Sharapan's going to join us. He's already sending me text messages right now, so I think he's going to be on his phone at some point to join us. The dog makes an appearance. Look at this. Yeah. Dave got hat. You got dog makeout sessions.
A little tongue punch session right here, big boy. Oh, that's when you know it's going to be a good show.
So we got a lot of things to get going here. You guys are in the chat. This is going to be a lot of fun. Jimmy Jack, we can't wait to see Dave live too. I have no idea where Dave will be. He'll be on his phone somewhere on the East Coast. He's in Philly today. He'll be in New Jersey tomorrow. So we got a lot of things to get going. Daniel G, remember, I can't put swear words on the air, so just go. But it is Lotzia Thursday going into today. So the Brigade is very much excited to get rocking and get rolling.
I remember last time everyone was freaking out because I talk like a sailor and everyone's worried about Will. So I'll try to keep my cussing down to a relative minimum.
A minimum. Yeah. You just want to say it loudly, as Will says, say it with your chest. If you're going to say it, don't mumble it, like get it out if you're going to do this. But everybody wants to know, as we start this show today, how are you on the Jaguars? How are you feeling about the end of the year? We haven't checked in with you since last time we talked to you was going into the game, and then everything went south. Jaguars missed the postseason. Where are you on your Jags?
And remember when I was sitting there on my parents' back patio in sunny, warm Florida, that I was like, I'm pretty damn nervous. I'm pretty damn nervous about facing the Titans. And of course, I was right. I was right. They absolutely embarrassed and manhandled the Jaguars, who shat themselves in Tennessee, our biggest rival in the AFC South, a team that has been a thorn in Jacksonville's side for freaking decades, Matty P. And I'm nervous about the future. I was a little emotional after that game, and I said to myself, I wouldn't mind if they just cleaned house from top to bottom, because one thing, at least since Shad Khan has taken over, they haven't done the whole new GM, new coach, clean house at the same time. Hire the GM hires his guy. No, I think Balky needs to go. I would not have been that shocked if the team had some balls and maybe said, okay, Doug, you're out as well. And I said this before to you guys multiple times in this show. Doug's issue right now is his odd obsession with Press Taylor, who has to have weird pictures of Doug with doing weird things with farm animals, because for some reason, Press Taylor was the reason Doug got fired in Philly. And he's going to be the reason Doug gets fired in Jacksonville. Listen, future looks bright, I guess, for Trevor Lawrence. He needs to cut down on his turnovers, interceptions, fumbles. They got to fix the internal offensive line there, man. One of the worst centers in the league, and the guards were hit or missed. And
it's bright.
So I know I said it with a little tongue in cheek.
Okay.
That the
because
future is bright.
CBW says he's putting you in the Philly Dallas category for future. Jacksonville.
Oh, damn. That's a good one.
Dallas, Philly, or Jacksonville between the two.
I think Philly has a worse future because that entire defense is old as shit, man.
Yeah, they're tough. Is this true though? Is this true? You've jumped off the Jags? You're on the Lions bandwagon?
Yes. I am. I am officially on the Lions bandwagon. Yes, I am.
Wow.
So screw Jacksonville. We don't need to talk about the Jags anymore. Let's talk about a real football team with passion who resembles the salts of the earth human beings who are going to work grinding every day. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Kneecap biting football fans and a kneecap biting head coach. Man, you can't watch a video of Dan Campbell, pregame speech, postgame speech, just hell, him talking in general and not get fired up. I absolutely love it. And as a sad, depressed Jags fan, I know the pain the Lions have gone through for decades and decades and decades. You kind of have like one good season, kind of like here and there, and then it's just back to normal. So yes, I want the Lions. And at the beginning of the season, I said, give me a Jags Lions Super Bowl. Because give me
you did
Goff versus beating Goff. You know, that would have been great. Those hashtags would have broken Twitter. But why the hell not get behind the Lions, dude? I love it. City that's feeling good, that's been in pain and misery for so long. I get that. I want nothing but joy and a freaking Super Bowl victory for the Lions.
All right, we'll get to the LA. We'll get to the Lions here in a second as we'll go through their win over the Rams as they head towards the game this coming weekend. But let's start with Mike McCarthy, and we'll start with the Dallas Cowboys making the announcement that they are not moving on from Mike McCarthy. The general sentiment was, what in the heck is going on? Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones met for longer than 3 hours, according to Dallas media. Talk about everything, beginning with the disappointment on how the year ended and then touching on pretty much everything in the football program for Mike McCarthy. Were you surprised, E, that the Cowboys decided to not fire Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, because Bill Belichick's out there. Yeah, because Mike Vrabel's out there. You can't tell me you're not taking those two dudes over Mike McCarthy. Now, listen, there are pros and cons, man. There are pros and cons to keeping this guy. He's been an incredible regular season head coach. That's great, right? But is completely pantsed when it comes to the postseason. This last year, though, you also have to love what CeeDee Lamb did, Dak Prescott, like their production and their growth this past year was hard to ignore. But Jerry Jones keeping Mike McCarthy in Dallas tells me right now he's fine with mediocrity. He's fine with being a great regular season team and not going past the wild card round, maybe the divisional round. I saw the stat earlier. I think it was, here we go. McCarthy's Cowboys, now the first team to win 12 games in 3 straight seasons and fail to make the conference championship in any of them.
Yep. And be out in the first game. Be out in their first game all 3 years.
And I'm not sitting here really defending Mike McCarthy or the Cowboys, but they had some really crappy luck in terms of injuries on the defensive side of the football, like starting real early in the year. And that opened them up to just get their shit pushed in against teams with the running game. And you saw it with the 49ers, 170 rushing yards, the Bills, 266, Packers just had 143. They all took advantage of this defense that started out great, right? They were an incredible fantasy defense because I had them in my season long, and I know everyone wants to hear about my season long fantasy team.
No, but it's true though. Their secondary was tremendous with pick sixes.
Yeah.
They got up. Their formula was get a lead and make you come after them, turn the football over, and then build upon it and just steamroll you. But when you looked at their home schedule and who they played, they didn't beat the Lions. The Lions won that game. That was a horrific penalty that didn't deserve to be called. That was a loss. But that was a win. You could say, oh, they beat the Lions. Well, okay. The next best win was the Rams. They beat the Patriots and the Giants and the Eagles when they were not that good. I mean, it was bizarre to watch how we fell in love with the Cowboys in the regular season without really asking the tough questions about how good is this team really when it matters, because the Packers were on the ascend and the entire NFC East was just falling over themselves and falling on their face. But I think you made a point there that I agree with. It feels like Jerry Jones says, look we're the number one most valuable sports franchise in all of sports. I'm in my 80s. If I win a championship again, great. But realistically, I don't want to go through paying Mike McCarthy for not coaching. He's got a year left on his deal. And then bringing in a guy like Bill Belichick, who I'm going to have to pay $15 to $20 million and have no control over any part of the football program.
Yeah.
I know McCarthy's the puppet. He'll do what I say. It feels like that was the calculus he made was it's good enough. This is okay. And that's why Cowboy fans are losing their mind.
Yeah. I saw someone in the chat mention Jerry just wants a puppet as like a head coach. And yeah, I started to think, and you saw the national reporters over the past few weeks really start to push the narrative of like this relationship that Bill has really formed with Jerry Jones over recent seasons. Jerry Jones, there was no way in hell Bill Belichick was going to take commands from Jerry Jones. And I'm still interested in what the dynamic will be in Atlanta too, because did Atlanta just hire like a GM?
But they've got a dynamic in there that you would assume that Belichick can work under with Atlanta, and we'll get to Bill going to Atlanta in a second. But I think
I don't see Jerry sticking his I don't see Jerry sticking his hand up Belichick's ass and doing the puppet thing here.
Because I mean, look, we know that Jerry Jones wants his radio show. We know Jerry Jones loves when he's got 18,000 cameras and microphones in his face, and Jerry gets to hold court and act like he's a big boy. Belichick's gonna be like, "You're the owner. Sit down. I'll handle football." Shannon Sharp had a really good rant on First Take yesterday about it, and the more that I thought about it, I was like, "Yeah, Jerry Jones is not interested in giving up anything." Like everyone's saying, like he wants another championship before he dies. And I'm like, I think he wants to keep full control until he dies. Yeah. I don't think he wants to give up anything. He wants to keep exactly the situation he has right now, which is he wins enough to keep the fans excited and a coach that will do exactly what he tells him to do. And he'll draft whoever he wants to draft. Now, Jerry Jones made some good PR, some moves in the draft and some good moves in free agency this year, but that's what he wants. He's comfortable where he is. I don't think he really wants to win a championship. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones is still alive. Do they win it all again?
I don't think they do.
I don't either. And I think he's cool with it.
Yeah, of course, because his pockets are full with money.
Right.
I'd be cool too if my pockets were filled with money.
But to me, it comes down to like, he won the NFC East. He's won 12 games in 3 straight years. They were harping on the fact that everyone's to blame for this. Everyone, including himself, including Jerry Jones, everyone's to blame for what happened against the Packers. They scored 32 points. I mean, they gave up 48, but they scored 32. Game was never really in doubt. Packers just came in there and blew their doors off. And there's not going to be any real seismic change. It doesn't feel like the team's going to be all that different, because what do you do about Dak Prescott? He has a $60 million cap hit next year.
Yeah.
They have to redo his deal. If they either trade him or redo his deal, and if they redo his deal, he's going to get $300 million.
He's obsessed with Dak. He's obsessed with Dak. Dak's not going anywhere. That's like his boy, Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
they're tight. He absolutely loves him. Yeah, they're super tight. I'm sure Dak says all the right things like behind the scenes. He does on camera as well. Doesn't ever throw anybody under the bus. Like Jerry loves the fact he doesn't have to worry about that guy at all. And listen, like productive as hell on the field, except when you get to the postseason.
But,
dude, yeah, it's such a talent-rich roster, and Jerry Jones, like what they have 7 Pro Bowlers, and Jerry Jones so freaking filthy rich. Like I'm just dumbfounded and flabbergasted that he didn't, and maybe is 3 days enough to say, all right, I've done like enough homework to see my available options out there, like another coach who could come in and move the needle and push this offense and Dak Prescott's growth to like the next level. Like, I don't think you could do that in 3 days.
I mean, I guess you could go through and have sort of a postmortem on what happened. I keep on bringing this point up that Scott Pioli made on Monday on the NFL Network, but I think it's really good because I think it applies to a lot of different teams. He said of the Eagles, which we'll talk about here in a second, but the Eagles have got to figure out what went wrong internally, not having an external answer. Internally, they must answer the question as to what went wrong, and then they have to answer that question by either firing Sirianni or trading Jalen Hurts or doing whatever. But until you answer that question as to what went wrong, you can't make a decision on Nick Sirianni. You can't make a decision. So I agree with you. It's 3 days enough to find out, was it Mike McCarthy? I don't know, but the same thing has to be asked of the Cowboys. What happened in the game against the Packers? And if you don't have an answer there, if you're right, it's defensive injuries. Okay, maybe. Dak threw 2 pick sixes. Like, how much of that is Dak? How much do you put on your quarterback? And if you are going to trade your quarterback, okay, now you're going forward. You're going to give Dak Prescott a 5-year extension, which is going to be in the neighborhood of $200 to $300 million to be your quarterback.
You think that performance against the Packers hurt Dan Quinn and his head coaching?
I don't know. There's like 6 teams. There's like 6 teams that want to interview him.
Yeah,
but I thought Dan Quinn was going to the Falcons. I think he could go back home. Didn't happen there. I thought maybe the Chargers might want him. I don't think they want him. But yes, I thought Dan Quinn was going to get injured. But I guess from the interview standpoint, teams are still interested in talking to Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
I wouldn't after that performance.
I think the latest is he's going to be back as defensive coordinator, and that's enough. That if he's not hired as a head coach elsewhere. But hasn't that been reported that Jerry also is absolutely in love with Dan Quinn, which may make sense when the Cowboys are 4-4 through 8 games and they fire McCarthy, they bring in Quinn, they make this push through what is going to be, I think, another weak season out of the NFC East.
So you think McCarthy is set up to be fired during the year next year?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Okay.
If they're 500 through midway in the regular season and BVB brigade, I mean, you tell me what you guys think. Tell me.
I think you're right.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I think absolutely it's why they're bringing him back. Dan Quinn slides in, and I think maybe Dan Quinn becomes the next head coach of the team.
I think Steve Mack's right here. I mean, it's they want to win the Super Bowl in any way, but they do the same thing over and over again, and they get the same result, and they won't change because the problem is the owner. I mean, look, Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson. He fired, and Belichick and Jimmy Johnson are kind of similar in terms of their personalities and how they want control and their egos and whatnot. Johnson's more outlandish than Bill is, but they both have a very similar type of, control issues. They want full control because they know how to do it, and the owner doesn't. It's a fair point. Jerry's been around football for a long time, but it's been 28 years since the Cowboys played in an NFC championship game. It's been a long time, and yet they keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And look, I'm not a Dak guy. I would have moved off from Dak Prescott a long time ago, but I get the point that his numbers speak volumes for his talent, and that, I'm just either hating on the guy or what, but I don't think Dak will win a Super Bowl. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Dan Quinn's going to stick around because that's a really good point that he may say, look, I could be the coach of the Cowboys by October. So where am I going?
Could be like a Mayo Belichick situation a little bit in New England here, where it was hinted to him, if you believe certain reports, that he was going to be the next man.
He put it in his contract. Well,
then then we were told
nobody knew that, but it was in his damn contract that you're replacing Bill. I mean, I'm sure gamblers would have liked to have known that when that market opened up.
No shit, because the last few years he started interviewing more and more, and everyone's like, I thought he was the next guy, and turns out he was always going to be the next guy. I was talking to Michael Lombardi on our show over last Sunday, he was saying he mentioned he thought Bill Belichick would have been a good fit there in Dallas, and he used the example of if Bill Parcells can go there and work, then Bill Belichick can go there and work as well.
It's a good point. So we do this thing, Emerson, on the show where it's called Ask the BVB, where guys can send in questions. And Rainmaker Lou emailed this last night, and I thought it was worth bringing up on the show today. Why doesn't Mike Tomlin get the same level of heat that Mike McCarthy gets? Because the mediocrity of the Steelers over the last 5 years has been very similar. Make the playoffs, lose in the first round. They're both going into their last year. Both have 1 year left on the contract. Tomlin today was way more jovial, I guess I'll say, more happy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that Dave tweeted something out. I was like, I actually like the guy. I love someone who's a little crusty.
I'm a big fan of Tomlin. I would take him on my team in 2 seconds. But why do you think that is, though, that Tomlin doesn't get the same level of national heat that Mike McCarthy does?
Yeah,
I have a theory.
I don't. Okay. I mean, I'll just tell you, when I saw that was in the rundown, I did some hardcore research and I headed to Google.
Ooh.
And I found a comparison between these two guys, and I had no idea that it was essentially identical records, dude. Their records: McCarthy 167, 102, and 2, Tomlin 173, 102. Similar playoff record. Mike McCarthy's 500. Tomlin's 8-10. Winning seasons. McCarthy 12. Tomlin 14. The biggest difference when I look at all these numbers, Tomlin's never had a losing season, but he's had a lot of those 8 or 9 win seasons. And then I think about a little more, these guys, as close as they are, the one thing that kind of stands out to me a little bit, it's the ownership. If you could become head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, owned by the Rooney family, which are known to have more patience than any other ownership group in sports, Tomlin could have had a losing season this year or last year. He could maybe have 3 or 4. I don't think the Rooneys were ever going to fire him, which is why you saw Schefter 2 weeks ago start to plant the seed that if he leaves, it was going to be a Tomlin decision. He was going to be the one to be like, I need a season off, kind of reset, see what's going on in the world, and then maybe re-enter the picture here. But what is your theory here? Because I can't really think of much. I think people just don't really necessarily shitting on the Steelers. It's a great organization.
No, it is. I think it's because Tomlin won the ring in the team he currently coaches. So he didn't move on. He's in Pittsburgh. He won a title in Pittsburgh. He has been competitive in Pittsburgh. He's won divisions in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a losing season in Pittsburgh. McCarthy got run off. And McCarthy,
and you know what's funny?
Cowboys.
Tomlin has that extra Super Bowl appearance, which he lost to Mike McCarthy's Packers.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, but that's the win. I mean, if McCarthy was still with the Packers, I think McCarthy, it's a different type of fan base, but I think McCarthy would still he'd be ripped on, but I think people would be less likely to go, let's judge you for the Dallas Cowboy McCarthy versus the McCarthy who was with Green Bay. Tomlin has stayed where he has stayed in that consistency. You're right about the Rooney family. The fan base in Pittsburgh's not as Looney Tunes as the Cowboy fan is. They're more, the Rooneys basically keep their fans in line, but look we're going to take our time here. We're not going to, run through coaches the way Jerry Jones does. So I think also there is a tabloid-esque part of the Cowboys that Jerry Jones brings to the table, where people like chaos. They like watching a demolition derby. And so Mike McCarthy is part of that demolition derby, and they want to see a thing blow up. So in Tomlin, and people are saying in the chat that Tomlin is more likable. I don't know. I think that's probably the case. I don't know if I agree with this, Tony. Do you agree with this? That Tomlin's driving a Thunderbird, McCarthy has an F1 car. That McCarthy's got way more talent, and that's why people are more.
Well, let's see. He was with Rodgers for however long, but also you look on the other side, and Tomlin had Ben Roethlisberger.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think there's plenty of talent. TJ Watt's the best player in the NFL defensively. I know Parsons is great, but I think TJ Watt's a better defensive, wrecker of offenses than Parsons is. So I wouldn't rip. I think that's the problem in Pittsburgh that I have, is that their offense has been a mess and they can't get the quarterback spot right. If they find a quarterback, look at the weapons they have. They have 2 running backs. They have 2 wide receivers. They have 2 tight ends. The Steelers could be right back into it as a title contender if they could somehow.
They're not going to stick with Mason Rudolph after they went on that 3-game win streak in the regular season, which I think weren't those wins against teams with backup quarterbacks too.
They said today that they are entering the offseason with Kenny Pickett as QB1, but expect competition for him, whatever that means. So they're going to draft somebody. They're going to sign somebody. I said this to Dave on Tuesday. I think Joe Flacco should go there. Would you be down with Flacco with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh, Flacco just being the little
going around the whole division.
Quarterback being passed around like a blunt in the AFC North. Good for you, Joe. I'm trying to look and see who all the free agents are going to be, because I don't know, man. Well, Pickett had the 1 or 2 good games, right? I don't know off the top of my head. You guys tell me, when they got rid of Canada and then everyone was creaming themselves because they had the first 400-yard offensive game in a bajillion years or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the answer. I know he's the great story because he's the Pittsburgh kid, right?
Everyone Justin Fields could be available.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Wilson might be available.
Russell Wilson's definitely going to be available. They don't fucking want him anymore. Oh, Kirk Cousins. All right. It will be a free agent. I don't know. Are they going to get a deal done with him? I think Justin Jefferson has said or turned down, at least reportedly, beginning ahead of this season, before this past season, a historic wide receiver contract. And he'd said no, because he says he wants to see what happens with Kirk Cousins, because he wants to go where Kirk goes. Imagine hooking your wagon to Kirk Cousins. Oh, Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor.
Kirk, please. D's Ducks in Minnesota. He's our resident Minnesota guy.
I love that.
Take Kirk, please.
How about this?
Yep.
Freaking give me Jameis Winston under center
in Pittsburgh.
Hell yeah, brother. Come on, man. Oh boy. This is one that I've seen mentioned a lot, not necessarily in Pittsburgh, but especially with the way that he's ended the regular season and the win last week. What are the Bucs going to do with Baker Mayfield?
Sign him. Keep him. Sign him. You keep him.
Gardner Minshew too, dude. Gosh, man, that guy's quads.
Yeah, Daniel G.
Short cutoff jeans. It makes me.
He pointed this out. I said Cliff Kingsbury should be the OC for Matt Eberflus with Justin Fields. So it looks like he's interviewing for that open job, which is there. I think that would be a smart move with Justin Fields to bring in a quarterback, to bring in a guy who can run an offense like that. And then what are you going to do? You're going to draft Caleb Williams. So that was my thing, my flag. I said to Bears fans to watch out for that. If they interview Cliff Kingsbury, who was on the staff for the Cardinals, if they hired him as the OC, Kingsbury, obviously coming from USC, would then go ahead and be the quarterback coach for Caleb Williams. They're going to draft Caleb Williams with the first pick in the draft, and then they're going to trade Justin Fields to whoever wants to take Justin Fields. So it could be Pittsburgh.
Sleep on Easton Stick. Easton Stick is going to be a free agent as well.
Oh my God, yeah. Hey, so I
got an Easton Stick for you, buddy.
Is Fields better than Caleb? Yes. Now, will he be? I don't know. I mean, Caleb Williams is a guy who's going to have to show that he can play in the cold weather, which is Justin Fields played at Ohio State. So we had the answer to that question already coming in. This is a kid who's played at Oklahoma and played at USC coming into play there. So, to just put a bow.
He's going to be fascinating to watch, man, because he's already polarizing, because he's already got half of the fans split with, calling him soft, seeing the emotion and the painting of the nails. And there's like the other side of it where he's just an absolute baller, like on the field too. But he pissed a lot of people off, or that report pissed a lot of people off, where he was like, wherever I want to go, I want a piece of ownership. It's like, dude, it doesn't work like that.
No, it wasn't even true though. The problem with that is, and I'm with you, horrible look, but was that true? Like, there's reports that he's telling that he's not in love with going to Chicago, that he's like, I don't know if I want to play for Chicago. So if we've got a prima donna heading to the pros, then yes, there's a big issue with that. And we have to be worried about him, because it normally doesn't work when you're already trying to dictate things before you even get to the league. You got to go prove yourself in the NFL before you can do anything like that. But, going to Chicago with that defense, they're going to address, I think they'll bring in some wide receiver help for him. They got a running game already. It's going to be, you're right, it's going to be completely wild to watch, because he's going to be held as the savior, even more than Justin Fields, because of what he's done in college. But can he play in that black and blue division? Can he play in the weather of Chicago? But are they really going to build a dome? Is that done? Are the Bears building a dome in Chicago?
I hope they don't. I love the elements being a factor in these games, which has the New York State governor been impeached yet for moving that game in Buffalo, for crying out loud? My God.
But that was fine. That was a good move. That helped the Bills. It hurt the Steelers. It helped the Bills.
I agree. My wife's like, what's this mean for my Bills? And it means that you guys are going to destroy them now.
Right, exactly.
On Monday.
It means the game's over. It's what it means. And they won and they covered. But what was funny to me, I was on last night with Scott Wetzel on Sports Grid, and he made the point that like no NFL football team in cold weather should ever play outdoors. Every team should be required, if you replace your stadium, you should build a dome. And he was referencing Buffalo, saying the Bills are building a new stadium and somehow it's not going to be a dome. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is ridiculous.
Part of football, their blood there, man. Like,
football. You play in any weather. Like, that's a baseball take that, like, oh, you can't play because it's cold. It's frigidly cold. Good. It's raining. Good. It's a typhoon. Good. Like, that's what we're supposed to do with football. It's not supposed to be played in perfect conditions all the time. And his point was, well, then why do we play the Super Bowl in those conditions? And I'm like, you're right. We should play it outdoors and we should play it in the elements. But I understand that like that game is different because you want it to be the two best teams and whether or not factoring in. But we play the whole damn regular season to host playoff games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for
my
Buffalo.
favorite story right now with the Bills, which I absolutely love that fan base, arguably my favorite fan base in the NFL, is did you see the story on the pit? You know, there was someone who fell. So next door to Highmark Stadium or the Ralph right now, where they're building the new stadium, you know, it's a massive hole into the ground. Someone like 6-7 weeks ago fell into it and they won that game, and they've won like 6 straight now. So now before every game, Bills Mafia sacrifices somebody in the pit and throws somebody down into this ginormous
Temple of the Doom
hole.
style. Yeah, they throw them into the hole. That's Buffalo. That's Bills Mafia.
It really is. I'd be like, light me on fire, smother me in mustard and ketchup, my naked rock hard body, and toss my ass down there because we're going bowling. Which, going back to the Steelers and Bills, they've faced each other 3 times in the postseason in NFL history. The winner of that game has always advanced to the Super Bowl. All right, hasn't always won, but the winner between the Bills and the Steelers in the postseason 3 times. Always advanced.
It's because the Bills win and Bills can't win the Super Bowl. But man,
I'm on my wife's family's group chat. It is not fun on game days. I have to mute the shit out of that. And I'm like, guys, stop bitching. It could be worse. You could be a Jaguars fan. Like, knock it the F off.
Same. I mean, it would be wild. Bills Niners Super Bowl here in Vegas would be something to watch. Because we all on the West Coast, we all want the Niners to come here because of the money. Like, we're going to have so much money pour into Vegas if the Niners are here. But if the Bills come, the debauchery that's going to happen with Bills Mafia on the Strip is going to be something that has to be seen, to witness, to experience. So a part of me wants Buffalo to come here, but I have a ticket on the Ravens to win the AFC. So dude, I'm a little bit biased.
I'm telling you, if the Bills make it, so I want Bills Lions. It's just like what I want. If Bills
Lions.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's exactly what I need. Why?
Bills
Why
Lions.
Don't you want?
Because it would be fun. It's just there's in terms of like I need a major market. Sorry, Detroit. I need a big boy market.
Yeah, but like,
I need San Fran.
You need a major market just for like yourself there, like in the city. Because in terms of TV ratings, Bills Lions would do numbies, bro. Because the Bills have, I don't know, BVB. Let me know wherever you are. There's got to be a Bills backer bar, just like there's Steelers backer.
Oh, there's
bar,
here.
Like in
there's a Bills bar here.
Bills backer bar over here by the Garden. The Hart.
OJ Simpson is known to be at the Bills bar here in Vegas consistently.
Oh, take care now.
he's there signing autographs. You walk in, you'd be like, why? Dude, why is OJ Simpson here?
That fan base would travel. That fan base would travel, and every single incredible resident of the city of Detroit would get their ass on a plane and spend all week in Vegas. If you have Lions fans and Bills fans floating around Vegas for a week, that city will freaking burn, Maddie. You better run. You better come back here and hang out with me.
Come back home to Boston. Bill Belichick, according to multiple reports, is going to interview. What?
Sorry. I just had to say Joel. Never mind. He said no thanks on Swift and San Fran Super Bowl. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If the Chiefs somehow made it there, sorry to cut you off. That's fine. She's got, I think she's in like Japan or something.
Taylor?
Like that night. Yes. I looked very early on. I said,
yes,
I don't know.
She's in Tokyo.
And I got no beef with her, man, for sure.
No, right.
I was like, I don't know if I can do the 70 cutaways.
No, I mean, I still think there's a really good chance that Jason and Travis both walk at the end of this year.
Absolutely. We talked to a Kansas City reporter on our show last weekend. He said, yeah, there is a chance. It is being talked about, and like
that he would walk because his brother just retired to let his brother have his flowers, have his moment. All the nice things are being said about Jason Kelce and what he means to the city of Philadelphia and everything else. And then Travis loses on Saturday, and then Travis goes ahead and has or Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday night. So then Sunday night he loses there, and then Travis takes a week, and then Travis comes back and says, because Taylor is literally going to be overseas for an entire year, for 1 year straight. So I don't know how you have done long distance, but I've done long distance, and it ain't
I've-
fun.
it
Is not
failed.
fun. It failed for me too. It
I
doesn't work.
graduated college. I said, hey, let's try to make this thing work. Okay. Well, she's still back in college.
Oh,
God
no.
knows doing what.
What?
Anywho.
Right.
So it lasted a month. I said,
I lasted more than
do
that.
it.
I lasted months of doing it, but
No way, dude.
it doesn't
I
work.
need it more than that.
Yeah. And not even that, it's more about like just the connection of being around the day to day. You just start to drift apart naturally because you're in different worlds. In her world,
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor's world, it's literally on the other side of the globe. And what Travis is going to be flying back and forth during the season.
FaceTime, Matt. Calm down.
Yeah. So I've always said that, like, if they're really serious about being together long term, and Travis already talked about the fact that, look, life, there's more important things to this than football. And I don't like the surgeries and everything else. I could, at 34 years old, that's a hell of a career. He's a Hall of Famer, and he may just go, look, it's time for me to go do something else with my life. He wants to be an action star. The New York Times had a crazy article. You guys, if you ever want to say I'm wrong about this, go read the New York Times article. Yeah, on Travis, on the two agents that made Travis Kelce into what he is today. This was planned. All of this has been planned for years now about taking Travis Kelce and making him the next Rock. And all the commercial deals. That's why I said from the get-go the Taylor Swift relationship was baloney. I was like, this is nonsense. Like, this is all corporate planned. It's too perfect. Maybe the Taylor thing is real. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that maybe it's not. But you see the next level, the next step to Travis Kelce. It's not football.
If they continue in this relationship and he pursues like some kind of career like that, let's say even if he starts poking over to like WWE, and starts doing like appearances similar to like, what Pat McAfee started doing and stuff like that. Yeah. And like she's there watching some of these matches, like ratings for WWE,
huge,
all that shit is going to blow up. This would be
an empire.
The elite power couple, an empire. It's a great way to put it.
They would dominate everything in media. And look, that's what she likes to do. Okay. She wants to be liked. She's talked about it before. She's a crazy people pleaser and she wants to be embraced. She loves the Chiefs for that matter. She does not like the other side of it. She, when she is getting made fun of at the Emmy Awards and the Golden Globe Awards, and like, she doesn't like that.
Oh man, she was staring through that dude's soul when
he wanted to kill that guy. It was a great joke. It was really more at the networks, but Taylor took it as a personal affront, and the Swifties went bonkers over it because you touch mother and they come for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
But I am really curious to watch the next iteration for all of them because we're gonna find out. But Taylor's being gone for a year. She's not going to be in Vegas for this. The Chiefs are here. Long story short, Chiefs are here. She's not coming here.
I mean, when you're that rich on both sides, bro, like he's going to go on like a month-long vacation.
Yeah, but Tokyo is an 18-hour flight.
They're going to
like she's going to be in Tokyo, Australia. She's going to be in Korea. She's going to be like she's not going to be in places like she was in Tampa last night and she flew to Kansas City. Like it's not like that. She's not going to be close. She won't be at Chief Games next year.
Put your ass in the back of her tour bus. You guys are going to have plenty of time for romance, and she's going to get out there and sing her heart out for 3 hours for 400 million, billion, bajillion people in a stadium.
Because I've said this too. She's going to do the tour next year in 2024. She's going to do the tour. She's coming back home to the States in Canada in November and December. And then we're not going to see Taylor Swift again perform for like 5 years. She's going to disappear and she's going to start her life. And because there's no way I went to the Eras tour. I was at the third show here in Vegas of the whole tour with my daughter.
I know you did, you horny bastard.
And I'm telling you, that's a goodbye. I walked out of that concert going, that's a goodbye.
You're too emotional. You're thinking too much about it.
You're never going to be able to, you cannot top that. She's playing for 3 hours and 45 minutes straight. There's no topping it. You can't top that.
I mean, she recently became a billionaire. Money is not the reason to do it anymore. Like it's just not. Although if I hit that $1 billion mark in my life, something tells me, I want more. Oh, I want more.
So Travis may be good again if he keeps playing because Taylor's gone.
Someone mentioned that Taylor has Travis's balls in her purse, and now all I can think about are his testicles in a purse. Just really weird that's in my head. Damn you, Steven. for putting that in the chat.
Yes.
Because I
agree,
told you
Dave.
what happened to me in the sauna today.
Oh no. What happened to you in the sauna today?
Yes,
Before we get to
you,
Dave, what happened? What happened to you?
It's a
What
typical
happened?
Thursday. Remember?
Yeah, I know. What happened? You got a straight shot, old guy.
It was
old guy.
No, it was a young buck. I said, Jesus, is that a baby arm? Goes, what? I'm like, wrap that thing up in its own towel, man. Good
All
Lord,
right.
you're gonna hurt me with that. Okay.
You want to go? You want to go to Philadelphia down the I-95 from where you are?
Yeah. He's 5 hours and 55 minutes from me. Oh, welcome to the show.
Have you already tested this?
Tested what?
How far away we are? Did you Google this?
You looked like you were in. We have swept places. That's what I looked like when I was doing stuff in Massachusetts. The exact same type of house.
I'm sitting in the spare bedroom at Brother Dan's house.
It's awesome.
I got a box holding up the camera tripod with a spotlight that he uses that my nephew did his model tables on.
Nice.
I have no idea. Those two women are in the other, like 10 feet away. Everybody's getting heightened up. We need to get this. We need to get this. We need to get this. I just said 11:45 Pacific, 2:45 Eastern. I'm going on with the boys, and I get in the green room, and I hear E talking about a third leg. I had no idea what I was getting
Yes, you
into.
did. You knew exactly what you were walking into.
Well, I knew he's doing the show, but I'm like, is he talking about the thing that he saw this morning that I thought was only in the chat with the three of us, and we just brought it to the people? Listen, I've been in them locker rooms. I remember the first time I saw something that did not look normal. They sent me over to do post game in the Pirates, and there was a guy on the Atlanta Braves that I swear to God, I went
like, what was that?
I had to look away, but then I had to look back. Go,
hold on a second.
What is that? What is that? How does he pitch with that? Where does he put that while he pitches?
Well, Greg Maddox used to get aroused by pitching, so maybe it works.
I couldn't believe it. So thank God we're here to talk about things that I know we ain't talking about
out there.
Thank God. Thank God. Great to see both of you. Holy crap.
Hey, thanks, man. You're our favorite guest here on BVB.
Appreciate it. Joining us. I appreciate it.
Give us the weather report. Because people have been asking, they're putting odds up about how cold you are at the moment.
So we landed in St. Louis and walked through the jetway. And I was like, okay, this is different. Okay, this is cold.
That's all Missouri.
Right, right. Then we landed in Philadelphia at dusk as it was starting to sunset. We got our bags, and I will never forget the first time that I got home from Curacao to Pittsburgh. We landed in February, and the pilot said, "It's welcome to Pittsburgh International Airport. It's 9. Current temperature is 9." And I remember looking at my brother-in-law going, "This is going to be a problem. Like, we've just lived in a place where it was 65 to 80 every day." So I'm getting all the bags and everything downstairs at the Philadelphia airport, and all the doors are constantly opening and closing. It is freezing in the baggage claim.
Heck yeah, it is.
The birds just fly in and out of the doors at the baggage claim in Philadelphia. So there's birds flying around, and I got the sweatshirt on, and I'm like, oh, it's cold. And I said to Kylie, are you ready to go outside yet? Do we have all the bags? Do we have all the bags? And we turned. And those double doors opened up, and that wind and cold hit me, and I went, and I took my breath away. It was 16. I kept looking at my phone, and I'm like, this is the coldest it's been since I left Pittsburgh. I haven't not been in 16.
Like the scene out of Cool Runnings when the guys all get in the airport and they go outside and you're just like frozen.
Oh, I didn't. I was like, and then, so we're waiting. We rented a car from Thrifty because that was the brand that my wife recognized or whatever. So you wait outside for the rental car shuttle in Philadelphia. Here comes Budget and Avis, man. He opens the door. I said, Thrifty. He goes, oh, he'll be by. Boom. Then it was like The next one, budget. So it's 6 vans came by and no thrifty. I had the hood on. I started breaking into my bag because I know I got the beanies. I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember what it's like to live like this every day. And there's people outside taking smoking breaks.
Oh, yeah.
Emerson, how do you live in this weather like this again? I mean, bro, you walk the dogs in this, right?
Yeah, dude. We crushed a 3-mile walk earlier today. The issue that I've had with this stretch here, what is it? It's 30 right now. It's the warmest it's been forever. But this weekend it's going to get down to like 9 or 10. And then wind chill, it's going to be below 0 and shit.
And Dave, just to rub it in, right when you left, Vegas is back to being warm. It's 60 today here in Vegas.
60?
We're back.
I don't know what I would do for 60 right now, but I can tell you this. Like, I forgot what it was like. So the dorms open up tomorrow is like the first day that you can move in.
Okay.
But tomorrow, it's scheduled to go 3 to 6 inches of snow here in Philadelphia and the surrounding
I saw more than
area.
that today in the sauna.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 3 to 6 inches, definitely over for what you saw. Over. But now your plans are altered because of the weather. And I forgot what that was like. Like in Vegas, we go, oh, it may rain like 3 times a year. We can't have this because of the wind, maybe 3 times a year. This whole, like after we get off the show here, we got to go to Walmart, pick up all the bathroom stuff and all these other things.
Oh, that place is going to be a zoo.
Well, we're down in Philadelphia, but school's up in New Jersey, but
still going to be a zoo
because everybody's preparing for this weather.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it means. All milk. Yeah. Luckily, you aren't
milk
going
and bread.
For milk and
People
bread.
still do that
luckily,
here,
milk
Maddie.
and eggs. Of course they do.
Hell?
Yes, of course they do.
People stop freaking out. And first off, stop buying milk and bread. You got to get hot
Emerson,
dogs.
because they get it wrong all the time. Emerson, they get it wrong. The problem is they get it wrong. They say it's going to be 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, and then it's 2 feet. And you're like, I can't get out of my driveway. I have no food. I have no water. My grandmother can't move. Like it becomes like life or death at like once every couple of years. They get it so wrong in New England that it becomes a huge problem. So that's why people freak out because they don't trust the weather people.
The issue over the past few days here, after we got a little bit of snow on Tuesday, the city doesn't know how to clean its sidewalks. Everyone is like ice skating down sidewalks,
this is the treacherous part of walking around. So we get all the bags and we have a little bit of time. Aunt JoJo and Brother Dan are working and have meetings or something, so they can't meet us. So they're like, what do you want to do? Well, let's go to dinner because I'm starving because I haven't eaten all day. So we go to a place and the sidewalk is frozen.
Yeah, man.
I know that the sidewalk's frozen, so I walk very cautiously, and I explain to my 20-year-old Kylie, who I love dearly and knows everything, be careful, it's a little slippery. What does that mean? Well, it means that those slide shoes that you have on have no traction on them. So walk very carefully.
Yeah.
She got out of the car and stepped, and her leg went and she was like, whoa. I said, I told you. So
we're not in the desert anymore.
Yeah, no. There's no more of that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little things that we take for granted having, both Matt and I lived back east and you live there now. People don't understand this in the desert.
No. Well,
also,
so this is what I said yesterday. I tweeted this out. This is what you have to do. You literally have to do literally have to do the Ric Flair strut. You have to go. How
do you do that with the dogs, though? The dogs don't know.
No, they certainly don't know, but they're looking at me like, what the hell is father doing right now?
Right. He's acting strange. But I mean, again, what was Kylie's first, like, she's doing it right. Like, she's not going to be stunned or shocked by all of it. She's jumping in the deep end. Yeah. It's 16 degrees. So, like, what's her reaction to it?
She said to me last night, once we got here and got it settled a little bit, and she was like, I'm glad we're doing this now because it's not going to get any colder. So I might as well feel what it feels like now, and it's going to get warmer. if I came in the summer and it got to this, and I said, see, this is how, like, you listen to the kids, sometimes say something and, you think of a different thing. This is good. Like, because I thought when she said, once we got the offer and the scholarship and all this other stuff, the paperwork, I'm going to start in the spring. And I'm like, who starts school in the spring? I never would have thought in my life to start school in the spring. And now it makes perfect sense to start school in the spring. So 100%. It's good. Like she's, I mean, the first thing we did was we went right to Dick's and we got fleece, heavy fleece sweatpants for her. She's like, if I'm going to be walking to and from class, she's like, I need the heaviest things, like, because it's cold. I'm cold.
Cold gear, like legit cold gear.
Legit cold gear. Yeah, not the cold gear for the desert cold.
Yeah, we have. No, real cold gear. You got to protect yourself.
Exactly.
So
when does she start?
Go ahead, Matt. I'm sure your question's more award-winning than mine.
I just want to know, when does school start? Like, when is the first day of class?
Next week. She's got, I think, orientation or something, and maybe obviously the workouts and everything start, I think, Monday, and then her first class is Tuesday. And
then when's practice? So, when do they start on the field outside?
On the field outside, I have no idea.
Because they're going south, aren't they? Right? You told me they're going.
Yeah, their first trip. Yeah, they're going. They have 2 trips planned, one to South Carolina, and then one to Florida to open, like,
because that's what every Northeast school does.
Whereabouts in Florida? Where in Florida are they going? Come on, you gotta have the whole schedule memorized.
I will find out. No, I think they're playing all the games in Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's like right around like Orlando-ish area.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's the closest airport. Yeah,
that's got to be late February, right? Early March when they're doing that.
The Florida trip is in March. The South Carolina trip is in late February.
Yeah, so they start practice here. I mean, that's what East Coast teams do. They start practicing outside, like in February 1st. They'll start going outside to practice.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I remember my first job in upstate New York, in Elmira, New York, and like Elmira College, a D3 school there, and some of the small colleges in that area, I was always so confused with how they started baseball so early there. And then I'm like, oh, wait, let me look at the schedule. Oh, they spend the first 2 months of their season on the road in like warm states, somewhere tropical. And then they come back here. And then half of their spring schedule when they get back is still postponed because it snows and it's real shitty weather in the north.
I mean, look, opening day for Fenway. That's why they never want to have opening day until like the middle of April, because they know what the early April is like. It's horrific. Rain, sleet, snow, cold. It's brutal.
Ask the chat. We got half the chat and stuff that played baseball as a kid or in high school. All of our games were like in mud. I played in snow flurries. I mean, we had practice in the gym. There it is right there. We had practice in the gym. I learned how to catch ground balls off of the hardwood gym floor better than I did in a field.
Amen, J-Dow.
And those things used to shoot up. There it is.
5 a.m. when you have to go in. I used to do this. You have to go in to practice early in the morning because they're using the facility for something else. So you'd go in and you have those rubber balls that they would they would bounce and take like it would literally they come up and they take those weird hops on you and they come flying by your face. It's not.
And a lot of those teams up there played on turf. Like when I would go up and cover Cornell baseball and softball, they're all on turf. That's all it is. I don't know what the field she's going to be playing on, if that's going to be the case there, Dave, but it's weird. I always used to think, man, I don't want to slide on the turf. My cleat gets caught on that.
Yeah.
The indoor fucking knee off.
The indoor facilities, I would say this, the Northeast indoor facilities have really, since you and I were in high school, Dave, have really taken a big step forward. There's a lot of indoor baseball and softball facilities all over the Northeast that are pretty high tech and pretty big.
Well, hopefully I'm going to get in touch, not this trip, but we'll take another trip to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to get together with Otto. He's going to take me to a couple of these facilities because his daughters are playing right now. He's going through the journey now with his daughters that we did out in Vegas. My daughter played 2 years at a JUCO, College of Southern Nevada, with an AstroTurf field, and they learned how to slide on them. It was 120 degrees. It was maybe 150 on the turf.
The field had to melt.
Oh, it was so hot. It was unbelievable. But it was great for the winter.
Pellets in your warm crack?
All over. Yeah. Hold on. Pause. I don't know about that. But It was yes. So, but they're going to play on turf here, and it's going to be different. So,
Mikey
we'll
Awesome,
reach out.
to answer Mikey Awesome's question, yes, dimpled baseball is exactly what I'm talking about. They were the worst. You play with those? The one, the plastic round ball, the dimples, they're the worst.
We're talking about playing with dimpled balls.
Yes, dimpled balls. Plastic dimpled ball.
Emerson, see what you've done to the show. We're looking. He's got your attention.
No. What it is I've helped many of the incredible members of the BVB brigade kind of come out of their shell a little bit. Okay,
they love you. Yes,
all right. Hey, nothing brings people out of their shell like baby arm talk in the sauna.
Did I get on a plane and go on a time warp and get off the plane? Did McCarthy staying with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is so much discounts Eagle stuff here. If you guys want any Eagle stuff, reach out to me. We went to Dick's. They're giving everything away. The nice stuff, the hats, the hoodies, all this stuff. You can get whatever.
Take a Jason Kelsey jersey. That dude's cool.
They're all over the place. Well, let me know because I can hook you up. Anyhow, Sirianni staying? Is that official?
Not official, but it looks that's the direction it's going.
So is Belichick really gonna go to coach the Falcons? Is this
right before you hopped on, we were putting this up. This is the Josina Anderson tweet that Bill Belichick is expected to become the next head coach of the NFC South Atlanta Falcons. He's going to bring Josh McDaniels with him, like we thought. He's going to bring many members of the Patriots staff with him. He's just going to go ahead and rebuild it, and he's not going to have total control because Flowery Branch is the GM, but it sounds like he's not going to have to worry too much about what that guy's going to say. It's going to be basically all about Bill. So, yes, Bill Belichick will be coaching the Atlanta Falcons.
I don't
know. If you can't beat him, hire him. That's what they say, right?
I guess so. But, is anyone going to ask him about the 28-3?
Oh, it's the greatest. Nora Princiotti. I got to give credit to Nora Princiotti because she had the best tweet about have you ever had a situation where the odds were heavily stacked against you and you had to show great adversity in the face of it? It's like the greatest. It's like the greatest. It's the greatest tweet ever about if you ever had the odds stacked heavily against you and be able to show what you've done in the face of adversity. Yeah, maybe I was down 28-3 to you guys in the Super Bowl. I was able to come back and win it all. So, yeah, I don't know how you square that circle. I have no idea. You know it's the weirdest thing.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when Mike Ditka wrapped up his coaching career with the Saints for 3 years and went 6-10, 6-10, and 3-13. I said, 6, and 3-15. That would be the new record for Bill Belichick if he can last 3 years and at least emulate those records with the Falcons.
How long do you sign him for? Do you give him
as long as you want?
Contract? Or is it 1 year?
He's going to retire when he gets that record, Matty. He's going to retire. That's
he's the only reason he's still doing shy. Okay, Belichick is 14 wins shy of Don Shula. So the question is, how many years in Atlanta does it take him to win 15 games? Because that's it. Once he has it, he'll walk. 17-game schedule. He wins 10 games next year. He wins 7, 8, 9 games the next year, and he's out. Goodbye.
Does a free agent quarterback go there? Or he's not doing this with Desmond Ridder, is he?
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm a quarterback, though, and I know that Josh McDaniels is going to be the offensive coordinator in New England in Atlanta, and I'm throwing to Pitts and I'm throwing to London, and I've got the running backs with Bijan Robinson and Cordell Patterson, I'm going there. I'm going there because they're going to play in a soft division. Yes, the Niners are still there and the Cowboys, Eagles, whatever, but you have a real good chance of winning that division and being in the playoffs if you can be a competent quarterback with the weapons they have.
I mean, the reason he would say no, I do think it's a pretty good fit, overall from top to bottom. But let's just say, for the sake of argument here, you consider the unknown at quarterback. That's basically it. And
that's it. It's the only question of that team. Defensively, they need some help. I mean, but Belichick will fix that. So, you bringing in Bill, he's going to fix the defense. Someone in the chat saying Matthew Judon is a free agent. That's true. There's guys who are going to be wanting to go play for Bill, who have played for Bill in the past, who want to go play for him in Atlanta. So, yeah, I mean, he'll win there. I mean, they'll have a winning record next year. I'll be so curious what Vegas would put the total wins, because I would say, at the top of my head, I'd say 9.5 would be the win total for Atlanta next year.
I got to see the AFC opponents, but they got a third place schedule. I mean, they because it went Atlanta, it went Tampa, the Saints, and then them.
Right.
So they get a third place schedule in average division.
I got it right here. What do you want to know?
Who are they playing?
Who's there?
Okay, so the AFC teams
Opponents.
here.
Just
Chiefs,
all the
Chargers.
non-division opponents. Yeah.
All
Open
the
the AFC
non-division
West.
opponents. You want the
All the-
AFC? Yeah. So
They're
it's going to
playing
be
the AFC West.
AFC West, and then you got the Steelers in there. All right,
Ooh.
Steelers are going to be in there, and that appears to be it. Yeah, in terms of AFC.
Okay. I want to ask you this question, Dave, because
Yes.
You're in Philadelphia, so this is perfect. This is what Jalen Hurts said yesterday about what happened to the Eagles. He said the worst of it all is someone else is going to hoist that trophy up. Someone else is going to be world champion, but it just simply was not our time. It's not our turn. We press forward, move forward, and keep the main thing the main thing. Can you explain to me what in God's name that means?
Actually, I'm going to drive around and ask people what the main thing is. What is the main thing?
The main thing's the main
What
thing.
is that? What is he talking about?
The main thing is winning, right? I think, but
It's
we
not our
didn't win.
time.
Then make it your damn time.
Right.
Like win the games and win the Super Bowl.
I understand, like, the goal is always to win. And when you're EU, I didn't know this about you. I just found this out this week that you have a coaching education and things
it was
like
my
that,
minor.
right?
Yes, it was my minor in college. Broadcast journalism, absolute waste of 5 years of my life with that degree.
Right,
But we were
right.
forced to pick a minor, and I picked easiest one. So I did coaching football. George O'Leary taught a lot of my classes. Had a lot of the current NFL players were in my class as well. Well, they're not current anymore, but yes. So if anybody needs any help, X's and O's, I can help you.
You've learned about coaching. What the hell is he saying? Because what I think he's saying, from without saying it, is that this wasn't the right mixed team, whatever, and we didn't win. So we're going to circle it back next year and try to win. Obviously, 11 games wasn't enough, because if we would have won 12, 13, or 14, we would have hosted Tampa, or we would have hosted, Green Bay. Oh,
This is Nick Saban. This is Nick Saban. This is saying a lot of words that mean nothing.
Word salad.
He's just speaking. He
Let's
knows
sell
he
it
has to
for
give
lunch.
somebody a quote. He has to
Yeah.
give somebody a quote. So the thing is the thing, the winning is this. It's not like you're just speaking cliches constantly, and then there's nothing you can take out of it and say, well, he said, well, see what he said that was really inflammatory. Can you believe what Jalen Hurts said about Nick Sirianni? Like, he just talks in complete code that nobody can parse through but
Don't
him.
get it. Yeah.
And he's infuriating the Eagle fans by doing it. They're getting more and more angry every time he speaks.
I've been on the ground here for less than 24 hours. There's a lot of angry people, period, here.
Right.
They're looking
Dude,
for a
I've
reason.
heard about that.
What
I've never
it-
been to Philly. I want to go for the food. I love
You would
cheesesteak.
know. You would get it. I mean, it's very similar to
It's-
Boston. It's very
Yeah.
similar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's people like looking to
salty.
cut you off and this and
Yes.
yeah, like I mean, we just tried to move over one lane yesterday. Jessica was driving, and we got people zooming. I mean, the turn signal was
Yeah,
on.
that's
we
us.
Made our
That's
we,
us.
Yeah.
we made
That's
our
us here.
intentions known.
You're going to
And
make
they
me
just-
late. You're in my way. Get out of my way. I don't
Honk
care
on
where
the
you're
horn.
going.
No, you're not getting in front
No.
of me.
No,
here
you're-
on the Schuylkill
Correct.
Expressway.
I'm
and-
on the Schuylkill. The Schuylkill. Good luck. That's
Horns.
a winding road from hell.
Horns honking everywhere. People here are honking their horns less than
All
a
the
quarter of a second
time.
after the light turns green.
Yeah,
All right, so how
because
about
you're-
I'm walking
you're
the dogs
bothering.
last night.
Uh-oh.
Walking dogs last night. There's
Uh-oh.
traffic in our neighborhood. All right. And there is a car honking its horn nonstop because another car is blocking it from turning left because that car that's in the left turn lane actually wants to go right. They got in the wrong lane. I look a little closer into the car that's honking nonstop. Nothing triggers me more when I'm walking my dogs than a car nonstop honking its horn. It's my wife. It's my wife honking at someone. She doesn't see me standing there. I walk over, I knock on the window, I scared the shit out of her, and I go, yo, stop honking your horn, please. Nobody likes it when you honk your horn.
Oh no.
And she's like, this lady won't get out of my way. I said, hey,
Doesn't matter.
probably made a mistake, got in the wrong lane. I said, there's tons of spots open over here where you're trying to get to. No
Uh-oh.
one's taking all those spots.
They don't care.
Said,
Emerson.
babe.
They don't care.
I said, babe, Please stop honking your horn. You
She's
know
a
that?
full-blown Bostonian now. It's in the blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of the issue is this, though. As we were winding our way through, the outskirts of Philadelphia and
Right.
the roads were built for horse and buggy
Correct.
and Model Ts.
Correct.
Like, they haven't been widened. They
can't.
haven't added another lane.
You can't.
I understand. But
Let's
I
Google.
understand
you
why
can't Google the lane. The next lane's in the river.
It's just there's nowhere to go.
No.
I get it. There's too many people, and they're all going in places that they have to get to. They're all running late, so I understand it. But I kept saying, it's awesome to watch it through the eyes of the kids.
Correct.
And Kylie's 20, going, man, it feels really tight. Every road feels so like feels like there's going to be trees falling on us everywhere we go. And why is everybody so close driving? Because we've tried to express to the kids as they get their licenses, leave distance between you and the cars in front of you.
No, not
Distance.
Boston.
Not in places like Boston, Philly, New York. They want to get up on you. They want to smell you.
Like
while
our
they're
cars,
close to
Dave,
you.
I always laugh because whenever people come and they're like, man, your cars are all so clean and nice and not dinged up and not dirty and not dented. How is that possible? I go, because we don't play bumper cars. That's why. We don't go and like move people with our bumpers trying to make them get out of the way. We don't hit things in snowbanks because we don't have snowbanks. So we don't have that problem. We don't hit curbs when we're trying to park because we can't see the curb. Like we don't do all that stuff here in Vegas. So our cars stay nice. We don't have to worry about the undercarriage getting rotted out from all the sand and all the salt that gets thrown all over the roads. Like we just don't have that stuff here. And I'm so glad we don't have that stuff here.
I'm thankful.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to wash the undercarriage.
Always, yes.
Always.
Very important.
Double wash undercarriage. E, did you get in trouble for making the request to stop honking the horn?
No, because I was very peaceful.
I know, but when you got home, how did things go?
And I knew everybody else, like around traffic, nobody knew that I knew this individual driving.
You look like Superman.
Yeah. I look like Superman. I can just kind of like sense the energy in traffic, and people are kind of just like, yeah, you get her, man.
Yeah. Dog man.
But since it was my wife, dog man, get him, dog man. I kept it cool. It's like, babe, stop honking your horn. Nobody wants to hear that. So people on the outside too are saying, wow, this gentleman is taking a very gentlemanly approach to the situation. Very peaceful, very calm. And it's great. A very beautiful blonde behind the wheel. Maybe he has other intentions, which I did. Which didn't pay off. But everything was fine. I got, because I did increase my walk after that another mile. So we just did a 2-mile loop in our hood. So by the time I get back,
she's calmed down.
She's having dinner. She totally forgot about it. She had a spot to park in. Yeah.
Since we're talking about cold weather, we can bring this up because both of us, all three of us, have worked in the media in some form or fashion. But this is real. A reporter who went to the pre-press conference for the Buccaneers and the Lions asked Todd Bowles about playing in the weather in Detroit because it was 5 degrees in Detroit. The Lions have played inside of a dome for nearly 50 years. I'm not bringing this up to make fun of the reporter, although it's very easy to do so. My question is to all of us, what is the worst question you've ever asked as a media professional? Did you have one, Dave? A question you asked?
Oh, boy.
Oh, why did I ask that question? That was not very smart of me.
Well, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to ask certain people questions that first year.
Yeah.
When I went over to do pirate interviews. So I loved Chico Lean. I thought Chico Lean was just an amazing baseball player, and he made impactful plays during the game. And then I went up and asked him questions. And I was holding the microphone literally right next to him. And I could not understand a damn thing that he said because he really didn't speak very good English at all. He tried for me, and I got back to the station and they said, what is this? And I'm like, well, this is the post game. You asked Chico? We can't understand Chico. you didn't get anything else. And I'm like, well, no, because Chico made the diving stop and saved the game and everybody else. And they're like, you got to ask us who you can ask the questions to. So I didn't know. But like that one, and then I asked Cornell Lake a question once, and Cornell Lake had the most sculpted face, physical specimen could be. And I asked him, I think I said the words defensive scheme. And he looked at me like this. He was bald, and he looked at me with his face. And he didn't say a word for about what felt like 2 years. It was probably 6 seconds. And I went, okay, thanks, Cornell. Thanks, appreciate it. And I went back to the station and watched the tape. And it was one of the dumbest questions. Like, it was so dumb. Like, I sounded like I knew what I was trying. I was pretending to sound like I knew what I was talking about. Like defensive scheme, high, low, this, that, what I forget what I said. And he went, you don't have a clue what you're talking about, buddy. Like, so I don't have one specific, but I have
hit you with a buddy.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
E,
Said,
do you have one a question that you regretted asking in the media?
I did it intentionally. It was with, I think it was my first year in when I was working in Utah, and I had asked Jerry Sloan, I think in the one of their playoff series. I think it was his second to last season coaching, and I forget which team they were playing. But basically, if they lost, because they were down in the playoff series, they lost, they were out. And I was like, Coach, would you consider tonight a must-win game? And it was more to get him to like laugh and cheer up, because Jerry Sloan was so awesome to talk to in the media. But then, like, you could tell right when he came in and he was opening up for questions, was he in a good mood or was he in not a good mood? When he was in a good mood, try to get a chuckle out of him. So I did it intentionally. But other people are like, well, stupid question. I'm like, learn to lighten up.
Read the room, right? So
read the room.
So your path was from Central Florida to where? Back to Boston. Like, where did you go?
Yeah, I've kind of I've been everywhere, man. When I graduated in 2007 from UCF, which shout out to my Knights, horns down.
Careful.
That's right.
They'll come at you.
Texas last night. Yeah, cry me a river. Yeah, cry me a river, Rodney Terry. Go outside.
What's up? How are you?
What's up? It's freezing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cold are you with the 10 the coldest you've ever been?
I was okay after we got here, but when we walked out of the airport yesterday, I stopped. As soon as the door opened, I stopped. I was like, "Oh my God, this is cold." Yeah.
Frigid.
And I figured out what slippery ice is. Like, it froze over.
Yeah,
so
ice is slippery, dude.
Yeah, I put my foot on top and I was like, "Oh, don't walk on that."
That's a bad move. Absolutely.
Dave, is that the softball player?
Yeah,
yes, it is.
Kylie.
Okay.
Kylie.
Hey,
that's Emerson.
Congratulations, by the way, young lady. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Looking forward to going to some of your games here. We're gonna get the whole squad together, the whole BVB.
Oh
group.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I told you. He went to Central Florida.
Okay.
So he's the one I told you about.
Didn't get super chilly down there.
We had talked about that at Central Florida being one of the destinations, maybe end destinations back in the day.
That's a damn good softball team.
That is a damn good softball team. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Almost, yeah.
All right, I'll be ready, and I'm going to say goodbye to these guys in 5 minutes. Do you want to come on with your New Heights podcast? Come here. Yeah, show them.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
You're actually wearing, Jessica's, you're wearing this in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
This is like wearing the concert T-shirt to the show, to the concert.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm in Philly.
You can't wear a New Heights podcast T-shirt in Philly.
It doesn't say Eagles. It's just New Heights.
Yeah. Are you okay with Kelsey walking away with Travis? And because he's going to follow Jason, they're both going to retire.
That's perfect. Then he'll be able to go on tour.
Yes,
and he won't miss any shows.
Again. You'll never see them again. They'll both be gone.
It's all right. It's all right.
We can paint our entire bodies, you guys. So we go to these shows. Yeah, someone's gonna have to get my back for me.
So we sat next to each other on both flights. Kylie sat by herself. It was painful for both of us. We had to sit next to each other for both flights. But at one point, she puts, like, back in the day when we were dating, you can tell them. I'll tell them. We put a pillow between us and we cuddled and hung out.
Yeah.
Like, that's so I joked. I'm like, are you bringing a pillow? Because we're taking a flight and we can go back old school a little bit. So I slid my hand under the pillow. We held hands the whole flight to St. Louis. It was great.
It was the pillow was to separate us, not to share. Like it was the barrier, not to be closer.
So anyhow, look, they're wishing you. They're still wishing you happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh my God! Yes, right. Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yes,
so
thank you.
This is incredible.
So we sleep from Vegas to St. Louis. Then I land. We get situated. We get on the plane in St. Louis to Philly, and Kylie's out. She's exhausted. She had stayed up all night, package, dress, and everything. So she's out. I'm ready to go because I slept the whole way. So I'm going to read a book, which I love doing. And I look over, and she's getting settled for the flight. And I turn. She's got her phone out. She's watching the New Heights podcast. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Got big
like,
pop on that one.
Laughing. Pop, excited.
It was funny.
Jason cried.
Really good.
He cried.
He did. He was very emotional.
Yeah, he cried.
He was. I felt bad.
Yeah. Brother, I mean, it's gone viral.
Interviews and it's been, it was emotional.
Jason, well, Travis will do it next. That's okay. Yeah. Travis on Sunday night. Travis will join him, so we're all good.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm good with that.
I'm talking with the boys. Emerson saw a big pee-pee today at the gym. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
My God, yeah. It's all I've been thinking about, to be honest with you, since high noon when I ran into this large baby arm holding an apple.
And we talked about that, and then we talked about dimpled balls.
Oh, I might have to watch the show today then.
This podcast is very similar to New Heights,
It's very similar, yes.
It is. Only we didn't play NFL football. We took bets all over. Emerson was talking about his journalistic journey.
You're being told to listen to us and not New Heights, Jeff.
It's a daily show. We've been living it for 20 years, and she still won't acknowledge it. Now I got you. You've seen the chat, P-Roll. It's a show.
Oh,
it's a show.
You've seen it. You've seen it, Perrault. It's a show.
Yes, it is.
I'll be done in like 5 minutes.
All right, bye.
All right, don't forget your pillow.
Don't forget your pillow, Emerson said.
My pillow. I'll say this just to put a wrap on the conversation about press conferences. I interviewed my first job out of college I was the play-by-play voice of UVA women, and UVA women played at Tennessee. UVA was ranked in the top 25. Tennessee was ranked in the top 10. The pregame interview for the pregame show I had to do. So I had to go and interview Pat Summitt. And I thought I was going to really be like a go-getter. And I had watched Tennessee game film. And I thought I was going to come up with this is really great question about Tennessee's matchup zone. And I asked her a question in a way that kind of like with you, Dave. She looked at me and her eyes literally came through the back of my head. Because she was like, you're a 23-year-old prick. Don't ask me about my matchup zone. You don't know what you're talking about. You've just described it completely wrong as to what we're going to do against UVA here today. Yep. And she made me feel about this big. And I was like, okay, no more of that the rest of the year.
Right.
I'm not asking coaches anything to do with their game plan, trying to scheme up and as to how I would attack UVA and how would I attack their offense. To this day, it was the most scared I've ever been with a coach. After a question, I thought she might punch me in the head. She was that mad at me.
I was afraid to ask Cornell Lake a question the rest of his career in Pittsburgh because I was like, he undressed me completely in 5 seconds. He stared me down. I almost wet myself. I was like, oh, okay. So Emerson, back to you, please.
Yes.
UCF to where? What
UCF. Graduated UCF 2007, spent 3 years in Elmira, New York, my first market there. Spent almost 3 years in Salt Lake City, almost 3 years in West Palm Beach. And then we've been here now for more than 8 years.
Woo! Wow. Okay. So did you meet the missus in the first stint?
In Elmira, yeah. I had been there for a year. Okay. I had been there for a year. I'm a year older than her, so I'm kind of robbing the cradle.
Hey, all right.
I tell her all the time. I still remember the first time that she walked into that newsroom, and I swear to God, I was like, "This chick is different."
Nice.
So I'm serious, dude. I was like, I really like this chick.
Yeah.
And eventually, you want to know how I sealed the deal?
Oh, please.
I don't think she's watching. So I invited her over. I made homemade pizzas. we put on the movie Wall-E, you know, because it's a real upbeat, great romantic movie.
Yes.
And let's just say we didn't make it to the end, gentlemen.
Netflix and chill, right? The pre.
It was it was like Blu-ray and chill.
Blu-ray and chill. Oh gosh, Blu-ray. Kids, look at what the Blu-ray player was.
Oh
my goodness gracious. That a thing, a gigantic CD that like could decapitate people if you throw it across the room. My gosh, why did we ever do that? That was horrible.
Do you remember the battle between wasn't it like HD DVD and then like Blu-ray? There were two brands that were
huge,
battling.
Huge. Yeah. Monster. Who was going to win? Because it was the same thing with Beta versus VHS that our parents had.
Yeah.
As to who was going to win that, and VHS ultimately won that battle.
Was huge.
And the HD TV wound up, or HD video wound up winning out over, because I mean, come on, the Blu-ray CDs were so big, they were bigger than record players. I mean, they were gigantic to go ahead and have it. So
I was a part of all of those in the business. That was our family business.
Right.
The one side we sold electronics, and the VHS Beta thing was real because we were a Beta in the house because it was smaller and it was a little higher quality, but the VHS was able to mass produce quicker.
Yeah.
HD versus, Blu-ray. Nobody can figure that one out. I think they went back and forth. Look at this. These people can't believe that you lived in Elmira. I can't believe anybody lives there.
Well, I think
is Athens close to Elmira?
Yeah, it is.
Chris Covey.
So like in like big part of
you don't know.
Yes, it is, because
Athens,
big part of
you're
Athens
acting
is
like
like
you don't know.
the twin tier. So you have the southern tier of New York. Be quiet, dildo, or go sit on the ice while I'm telling this story. There's the southern tier of New York State.
Matt,
the
can you put
tier,
the three of us all across instead of just being the big bucks?
I don't have the overlay for that.
Okay, fine. That's fine. All right,
I can do it, but then there's no branding. I can do it, just the three of us.
No.
There's no branding.
Leave the branding. Branding's very important. That's what they say. So go ahead, Emerson. Sorry.
Yeah, no. And Athens was like right across the border from New York. So it was a Pennsylvania school. Yeah. For the high school. I mean, it was big on high school sports there. But we had Watkins Glen there in Elmira. So like at the time IndyCar was there, NASCAR would come there. Danica Patrick was still,
Are you a NASCAR guy?
I grew up in Jacksonville, right outside Daytona. Yeah. So it's like, NASCAR was, we paid attention to NASCAR.
Redneck Riviera. I mean, that's all.
That's why Gardner Minshew works so well in Jacksonville.
True. Yep. Straight across. Take it from Alabama all the way to Panhandle, all the way to Jacksonville.
I never would have made Emerson out to be a NASCAR guy. Yeah. I didn't know.
If you sliced off,
I'm not super dialed into it, but for sure, I'll go drink some beers with a bunch of shirtless dudes and drink beer. Let's go.
Are you all in with the Bills then? Like the wife is a Bills fan.
Yes, bro. We are all in here, man. Yeah, we are all. So I'm all in on the Bills and the AFC side. I'm married into the Bills family. Come on, man. They've kind of grown on me a little bit. But as I said at the top of this show, I am 110% on the bandwagon of #OnePride. I am a Lions fan. I am rooting.
Let's get you out of here on this, Dave. Well, let's get you out of here on this.
Wait, we're going to do this tomorrow, right?
But the number's up to 7 here in Vegas. Circa went to 7 today.
Did they really?
Yep. Are we seeing money? What does it tell you? Money on Thursday on the Lions. Route coming against Tampa?
I'll sleep on it. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I'm jumping in earlier. Okay. I'll tell them. Because I think the plan was supposed to go move into the dorms tomorrow, but I think we're going to go Saturday. So I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out with the two of you.
Okay,
this is cool. Believe me, this is so therapeutic.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
It's just great. I'll check on the money.
Wait, what time's the move in tomorrow?
Well, the snow. It's all depending on the snow.
Moving in the snow is brutal. You know this. Moving in the snow is you can't do it.
I don't want to do it.
Everything's wet. All the boxes get wet.
It's supposed to snow.
You're going to get hurt, Dave. You're going to get hurt, and I'm going to have to fill in.
Fall.
This is what I'm saying. I can't go down. I cannot go down.
People don't want that.
Too old to go down. Already done that before. So no, I'm going to check on the money. I'm going to check on the money and the move.
Okay.
But I said this, and Detroit wins by double digits, or Tampa wins outright.
Woo!
There's no this is the game. I was flying after, I woke up and I read this great book about gambling. It's phenomenal. I'm going to make a recommendation after I finish all 4 trilogies of it. But it's simple, right? The public's falling in love with the dogs on Saturday, right? Those games look like
routes,
right? They're going to be routes, but I think one of those dogs is going to cover. One of those dogs may win outright. We'll see. This game, it's 2 options. Detroit's not winning by 3 or by 4. Tampa wins the game outright, or the Lions win by 10 or more comfortably. One pride, all of it happening. They get to celebrate another win and a trip to the NFC Championship with the Lions. I'm with you right now.
Yeah.
I'm on the Lions side.
I'm just rooting for those fan bases, man. I'm obviously married into one again, but another one, as I mentioned to that earlier in the show, sad Jags fan. I know the pain of decades and decades and decades of garbage football. A little bit of a tease, like just the tip every now and then all of a sudden it comes out and you don't go back into the playoffs for years and years to come. So give me a Lions-Bills Super Bowl.
See, Jess is going to love this. This is perfect. As New Heights, we're going to bring in all the female audience with your little innuendos talking like this. This is the show. I get it. She'll get it. Not just the tip, but the whole thing. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the BVB right there. Right there. There we go.
We're going dimpled balls deep. That's what we're doing.
I gotta go juggle the jet. See you, boys. Take it home. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Text us tomorrow.
Early. We'll do it the whole thing.
Love you.
Sounds
Love
good.
you.
We'll talk
Guest
to
of the
you
year.
Thank
You were the guest of the year. Thank you.
Goodbye.
One Mr. Dave Sharapan, Consig, live from Philadelphia, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the book from Philly here with us. He'll be back with us tomorrow as we'll check in from time to time with Dave. Oh, there we go. We got to do this and we got to do that. And then we got to do that. Sorry. I just got to, it's always whenever we get to a guest, I got to.
No. It's
okay. We have about like 13 minutes left with Sports Grid and Sirius XM, so I want to get this topic in because I think it could be fun. Of the remaining teams left, which city has the best food, in your opinion? I'm going to give you my top 4, but what is in your mind?
I'm looking.
Houston, San Fran, Baltimore, Tampa, Green Bay, Detroit, Buffalo, and Kansas City.
God damn, man! How can you go against the home of the Buffalo chicken wing, for crying out loud?
It's my favorite food. Wings are my favorite food.
Dude, let me tell you what. When I'm in Buffalo, like you have like Duff's, you have like the major
OGs.
OG wing spots like around Buffalo where these restaurants love to battle and say this is where the wing was made and invented and blah blah blah. They're so good. Like even you go to low key places that may not be known for their wings. Like wings are just incredible. They're at another level there in Buffalo. I can go to a hole in wall joint and
here's the problem though. Okay.
What?
Here's my order. Here are my top 4. Kansas City beats Buffalo because barbecue is more intricate and there are more options than just one thing. Wings are my favorite food.
Yeah.
But I can do so many things with barbecue. I can do ribs. I can do brisket. I can do pulled pork. I can do burnt ends. I can do sides. It's the KC barbecue of who's left. And I don't like KC barbecue. It's not my favorite barbecue, but it's up there. It's good. I'm not a huge fan of the sauce in Kansas City. I like more spice to my barbecue sauce, but I have to give KC just because of the number. I've been to both cities. You go to multiple, like you're talking about, like there's wings. It's just wings. You're not doing much else. They're known for, and my Buffalo audience here back me up, beef on weck. So weck, Kimmel weck rolls, like the rye seed and this chunky salt on top, and they have the best roast beef sandwiches ever. So like, there's no way Buffalo, New York is taking the roast beef sandwich title from anywhere in the Northeast. Like, and I'm not sorry, Buffalo's not in the Northeast in my mind.
No,
East Coast.
No, it's not necessarily the roast beef part. It's the Kimmel weck roll part. Like you can
the best rolls. Roll. You're gonna take down barbecue with rolls.
Beef
Come on
weck.
It's good.
With the wings, and also You shut your trap right now, but this is my show now. Okay. Tater tots. They have incredible tater tots there.
This is not beating barbecue. This is not beating barbecue.
Tall, cold glass of
milk
or a pitcher. No, I mean, I do love milk. Labatt Blue Light, baby. That is breakfast in Buffalo. Wake my ass up and now if I go to the gym, I'll crack open a Blue Light. Let's go.
Yes. How do you feel about Detroit style pizza? I'm a very big fan.
Okay, Detroit style pizza. Remind me again. How is it different than some of the other pizza?
Deep dish.
So like Chicago deep dish?
Nope. It's more like a Pizza Hut type of deep dish. It's not stuffed. It's a pan pizza with a hard crust on the outside, and they put sauce on the actual crust of it, but also on the top of it after it comes out, and it's square. It's a square pizza. Oh, it's phenomenal.
So all you just had to say square pizza. That's all you had to
it's
say.
Tremendous. It's a square, thick.
You took 30 seconds to say square pizza.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
I'll eat it. I'm not a huge pizza snob. Like even around here, I mix it up kind of all the time. I mean, I'd love to ideally go to the North End and go to Regina's in the North End because that old school pizza oven that was around when Jesus was around makes the best pizza. But
Boba's is still the best drunk pizza in Boston, though.
What is?
Boba's. Just go down to Boba's Bakery and just go stumble in drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Dirty Water over here is like really good. Also Upper Crust. Upper Crust is some of the best chicken fingers
I haven't heard. I haven't gone there yet. I've heard good things about that place though.
So I also think you're sleeping a little bit on some of these cities like Baltimore. Baltimore crab cake.
So here are the other ones. Tampa, I would go at strip club buffets. That's the best food in Tampa. Baltimore's got your crab cakes. I'll give you that. San Francisco's got chocolate because I'm not giving you sushi because I can't. It's not an original thing to San Francisco. It's the best sushi of my life I've had in San Francisco, but I can't give it to them. So I got to go with Ghirardelli chocolate because that's original in San Francisco. And then Houston, I live there and I had such a huge problem with the food in Houston. It is the most messed up, confusing, rigmarole smashing together of cultures you will ever see. It's got no lie. It has Eastern European gulaches, which is what they're known for in Houston, which I found to be nasty. Have you ever had them? It's stuffed dough. It's a kolache. It's stuffed dough.
Yeah, you had me at stuffed, and then you had me even more.
It's so not. I cannot do it. That's what Houston's known for. And no, barbecue is good, but it's not as good as the rest of the state. There's better barbecue in other places in Texas than there is in Houston, Austin, and Dallas.
Okay.
And then you've got tacos, which are really good. There's a huge, Hispanic population that have, amazing tortillas and amazing authentic food. So I'll give you tacos there, but I still can't go with it because I like the other stuff better.
I don't know, and I have not had food at a Tampa Bay strip club. I've been.
They're amazing.
I think it's safe to say I have been to almost every Tampa Bay strip club. During my college days, we would take party buses down there.
Yep.
And
so you've seen the buffets. You've seen the full blown.
Oh, big man! I have seen buffets galore.
Real mood. They have real good food in the strip clubs in Tampa.
Yeah. Nothing like, eating a glizzy and getting a lap dance, right? It's all at the same time. But come on. How could you, I'd probably rather.
What?
You're sleeping
Stevie,
on
what?
your.
Come on.
What? Tampa Bay has Cajun.
Cajun food?
Also, anything on the coast, either side of Florida, dude. Coconut shrimp, man. I bet the coconut shrimp there is absolutely bomb.
Tampa is, come on. You're from Florida. You can speak honestly about Tampa. You know what Tampa is.
No, don't you put words in my mouth. You can put other things in my mouth. But don't put words in my mouth, buddy. I know what Tampa is. I like Tampa, but yeah, take me over to the St. Pete side. I probably know at least 3 dozen people who have been robbed in Ybor City, little party area right there, outside Tampa. One time, my old fraternity brothers went there for a night, and they're like, "Yeah, we got robbed. The guy made us take our wallets out, roll under a truck. It was just parked there." And so he took the wallets while the guys rolled under the trucks, and then he ran off. And then by the time the guys were like, "Oh, he's gone," they rolled back out from under the trucks, and the guy had stolen their wallets.
Look at this. I'm sending people to Good Pie. This is awesome. Skip the Ferry just went to Good Pie here in Vegas. Emerson, next time we come to Vegas, we can go to Good Pie.
Yeah, I would. That's Steve Buchanan and like Billy and I think Samir and some of the guys were talking the other day in the office when they're all out there for the Super Bowl that they're going to that place. They've mentioned it. They're like,
awesome.
I think they set the number at 3.5. How many times the total? How many times they're going to visit that place?
It's the pizza is so. I may need to go there for lunch today. The pizza is so damn good. It's awesome. What is Ybor City? Ybor City? Ybor City?
Ybor. It's pronounced Ybor. Yeah. So when I said Ybor, I know it looks nothing like it's spelled. It's pronounced nothing like it's spelled. Almost like every effing city here in Massachusetts.
Correct. Yes. No. Well. Yes.
Yeah, dude. It's honestly it's known for people just going there for like nightlife and partying. But I see the Juice mention the Cuban food trucks, dude. When we lived in West Palm Beach, especially when we go down to Miami, you want to talk some of the best freaking food. Oh my God. And the coffee. I'm sitting here drinking my Starbucks K-cup because I accidentally ordered 60 K-cups on Amazon the other day instead of 60. 10. There's 60 Pike's Place roast. Yeah.
Why don't you go?
Like, I don't even like that roast.
Well, you know, okay. Well, because if you guys use those, by far the best, most cost effective is to go to Costco or Sam's Club and get one of those 60 boxes because they're like $25 for a box.
I paid like 15 for this on Amazon. That's why I thought it was a box of just 10. And then this
great. But you'll have it. I mean, I have it. I get a box of 72 Starbucks K-cups for Pike's Place. I think it lasts me 2.5 months or 2 months.
Yeah.
So I got my coffee paid for and it's good. And I still go out and buy coffee out because I'm an idiot, but I like having it at my house and just having in the morning, quick when I get up.
Cigar shops are big there in Ybor City too. I don't know if you like cigars. I smoked them the wrong way too much when I was younger, like a stupid drunk kid. I smoked them the wrong way when I was younger. Like you kind of inhale and then you get the dizzy head.
Oh, that's awful. No.
Yeah, that's why I can't do
puke. You make yourself sick.
I can't do stuff in my lip and stuff. What's the Zen? Everyone's doing the Zen. I can't.
What is that? What is pure nicotine?
I think it's tobacco. I think it's tobacco-less nicotine. Yeah, I think it's just
pure nicotine. I don't understand that. It's like just like open your vein, just like stick in nicotine. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like straight to addiction. Like forget about the tobacco taste.
Yep.
We're going straight to addiction. Let's just take our nicotine straight into our mouths in the quickest way possible is with a nicotine patch. It's like,
it's terrible. The first time I ever dipped, I was at a party, my first semester at UCF, a house party. No, I didn't swallow it. I put too much in. Holy shit. I started like sweating. It started spinning. I went right to the bathroom in this stranger's bathroom. I put the shower on, cold water, and I laid there in my clothes in their bath like this, just trying to get the cold water to cool me down and straighten my head up. And I didn't do dip ever again.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Ever again.
It's rough. That's why I was like that with cigarettes. The first time I smoked a Marlboro Red, I was like, what am I smoking? Like, this is just not for me. Like, I don't like that feeling. I don't like that spin around feeling. And I was like, okay, so me and cigarettes are not going to be, we're not going to be friends. Which
I'm a big league chew guy.
Me too. Yes.
A whole lip there.
I'm not against cigars. I'll smoke other things, but tobacco and me from a smoking perspective, it didn't really go hand in hand with a lot of things. Cherry Skull. Oh my gosh, that sounds nasty. That doesn't sound like something I'd want to be trying anytime soon on that. That sounds kind of
Stephen Mack is like caffeine and nicotine. I'm like, bro, everybody I work with is the same exact way.
I mean, you work in media. I mean, that's kind of what gets us through a lot. You work nights in the media. That's what's going to get you through a lot of the times. I mean, I was I started in the media like right when they started to get rid of smoking, but I still remember when you would have like, arenas would have smoking areas and you would have like, different places where people with smoke breaks out of the media room would go and smoke. And, it's not anymore. Obviously they got rid of those, but it's what it is. Okay. If you guys are live on Sirius XM, if you're listening on or watching on Sports Grid TV, we're back tomorrow.
Live on Sirius. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. No, this is great. No, I knew that, dude. This is awesome.
159. We'll be going with that. And if you guys are there with that, we will be back tomorrow. Roll Call Friday going on for you guys who are with us on YouTube and on Twitter. You guys are getting what we love to call bonus time. So as if you weren't already no holds barred, you literally can say whatever you want now because there's no TV and radio to worry about. So you can do whatever the hell you want now.
Shit balls.
You can just go crazy, and there's no more editing. There's no more worrying.
I think I did a good job today. I don't think I said the F word more than once. And I think I said shit like 5 times.
It's good. Did you ever
shout out to Will?
Thank you, Will. Do you ever have $2 beer night at school when you were in college?
Yeah, we had quarter beer night. So what it was it was a place called Pounders. So, you
really?
order wings.
It's called Pounders in Florida.
Pound. Yes. So you would be able to get a grilled cheese sandwich, fries, Pounders, not Pound Hers. Okay. Pounders. You'd get a grilled cheese sandwich, fries, and a beer like Natty Light or some shit like that for 50 cents.
Okay. That's pretty good.
I blacked out quite a bit there when I was younger.
A couple of quick topics before we get to Better to Book It and then get our favorite thing about today. Amazon is going to save the Diamond Sports Group. You're in TV. You've been in TV for a while.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel good or sad that 37 teams are going to air on Amazon Prime now going forward?
Wait a minute. So this is about all of the Bally networks that went out?
Correct. All the regional sports network. Diamond Sports is the company, but Bally's is one of them. They operated some of them under the Bally Sports banner. But Diamond Sports Group has the rights to 37 NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball teams.
And it's all Amazon now?
And Amazon just went and took all of it. So Amazon Prime.
When was this announced? I totally
yesterday.
missed this. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yesterday.
Yeah,
on this. Do you care as a TV guy?
No, I don't care because I actually have enjoyed like the Amazon viewing experience for football games this year.
Yep.
I thought that was great. Now, like nothing. Are they still going to run everything out of their original hubs, like at their
right? It's kind of similar to what
respective cities.
I think but what's going to happen, unfortunately, is what happened to the I forget what it was called before. It was called Sportsnet Pittsburgh, but the home of the Penguins and the home of the Pirates was purchased by Nesson, and so everything is being run out of Boston to run the Nesson channel, the Pittsburgh channel, Pittsburgh Sportsnet. So like 100 people lost their jobs. That's what's going to happen here. You're going to see a hubbing of all the pre and post game shows. That the guys calling the game broadcasters will still be there and they'll go on the road. But I think you're going to see a lot more of it run out of one centralized hub, and they're going to do a bunch of different pregame shows, and that's really bad news. It's sort of like what happened with radio back in the day when you have like a guy like in Tulsa voice tracking for 10 different markets. I think you're going to see more of that here when it comes to the pre and post game stuff, which sucks.
There are too many bajillion-dollar companies acting like they're only making $5 a fucking day, and it is so frustrating. And our business, Matt, seems to be hit more than any other. Like it got absolutely smoked with the recession in 2007 because everyone stopped spending advertising dollars. So these stations and networks weren't making money anymore. And now everyone just pinching pennies when you absolutely do not fucking have to. Like too many of these companies. That's it, dude.
They have cover. I mean, that's what David and I have talked about this a lot about, like the fact that
I hate dude.
That's why ESPN never wanted to give their full disclosures as to how much money they were making, because they didn't want anyone to know that they were more profitable than Disneyland. They were making more money for the Disney brand than the actual theme parks were, because the overhead was so low.
Yeah.
So they were killing it hand over fist, but they didn't want to tell anybody that because people would start asking questions when they did layoffs. And so they're making all of this money, and then they're like, oh, sorry, shoot, things are getting tough. We got to consolidate. We got to go ahead and lay a bunch of people off.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wait a minute, you made how much money over the last 5 years? And you're laying everybody off? Like they just do it because they have a covered. When they can make more money, they're going to go ahead and do it. And that sucks.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, I think more and more people in our business are running into this reality, and it's not good.
Yeah, man. I think when I worked at Nesson, listen, like 95% of the people there were absolutely like awesome. There were some people in some corner offices that I think could have treated people like a lot better. And
Did you like it? Did you like working there? It's a hard place to work, right?
It was tough because I felt like a lot of the times there are so many unhappy people in there that a lot of my energy was spent trying to bring up members of my team. And I'd, be the jolly guy coming in, and I spent a lot of my energy and time doing that because I gave a shit about people who I worked with. And then I gave a shit about the product that we were putting out, and we kind of our show got shafted. There's why I decided to leave and said, I'm going to go commit over here to DK where they'll let me be a little bit more of like myself and stuff. But like that was a place that would try to pinch pennies, cut corners, act like they weren't making any money because you know what? It's not publicly traded. So it's like you couldn't necessarily see what the money was, but it would always be reports in like the Boston Globe and shit. And it's like, oh my God, look at all the fucking money that this network has made for the Bruins and the Red Sox. And even when the Red Sox are dog shit, people are still like watching them.
It's
and stuff like that. I said, why are you getting rid of people then?
Why are you watching?
Just had a historic amount of money enter your pocket. Like,
well, it's the same thing with the Red Sox team, though, right? I mean, it's like people are still going, buying tickets, buying beer. They're making tons of money, yet they're not putting the money back into the product. So it's indicative of kind of what in Boston. It's indicative of what Fenway Sports Group's been doing. It's why everybody thinks that Fenway Sports Group might be for sale, including the Red Sox.
Bro, they got their hands in too many jars. That's why they don't give a shit about this team right now. They're not spending money because Matt, that makes complete sense. Look at you using your big brain.
I'll be curious to see what the future is going to be for Fenway Sports Group, but just, I'm going to be, I think it's a great story that the games will still be available to those fans in those markets. And there's not going to be a catastrophic, the MLB doesn't have to come on in and save this. So this is a good move for those fans. It's just, I saw it and I was like, oh no, for people in those markets who work in the industry, that's going to suck. Like that's going to be, we're going to see another round of massive layoffs. And if you're a baseball reporter or sideline reporter or pregame show reporter or postgame show reporter, it's not, it sucks.
Dude. I honestly, dude, I was texting my buddy Jemai, sideline reporter for the Red Sox today. And I'm just like, what's going on there? Because he was telling me about some more like higher up changes.
Chaos.
And I'm just like, big man, take care of yourself. You just had a third kid. I was like,
did you really? Wow.
Yeah. And I'm just like, man,
Garen Austin.
I just want you to know, like real talk, Jemai, like they look at you as a number. They look at you as a number, which is why like I have enjoyed the transition in working for DraftKings. I don't feel like I'm a number there, dude.
Good.
Like actually give a shit about me.
Well, that's good. Well, I know they've got really good, benefits, and they always really talk a lot about that here in town, about what they offer here and what it's like to work, because they're trying to recruit people to come and work at the headquarters here in Vegas all the time. And I just remember Garen Austin is a friend of mine, and I worked with her in Omaha, and she was the sideline reporter for the Red Sox for a long period of time. And she would always just talk about, she used to always tell me just about the grind of being on the road for like how long and how it took such a toll. And she's like, I don't want to complain. I'm in nice hotels and I'm on the team plane and whatnot. But like, she talked about like, how do you have a life? You can't really have a life when you're on the road for this many days, and you're working nights every weekend. You're working, you get one night off a week. Like it's a tough gig. So, and I mean, she always like, don't feel bad for me, but it's a hard thing. And then you watch these people who give their lives to it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And they walk in one day and they're like, oh, by the way, we don't need you anymore.
And that's how most people have departed in Essen. That's how it's happened. You walk in, they're like, hey, can we talk to you for a second? And next thing you know, you're gone. And like, you could have given them decades. You could have given them, a handful of years, whatever it is. Because
pat in the back and you're out the door.
Yeah.
You're like, hey,
I've heard some rumblings too, not like with that, but going back to kind of like the Amazon saving Diamond Sports, that also a player to keep an eye on would be Apple. Be Apple TV for some of these situations, but also Apple TV potentially wanting to get into the local news realm.
Makes sense.
And so because there's some rumblings that CBS is trying to sell off all its local stations, or at least its O&Os. Wow. And that potentially Apple could be a suitor there and try to get in on that.
And then
game.
What will happen, and I've told Dave this on the show a lot, we've talked a lot about this, is like the cost of operating a TV station and a radio station locally is incredibly difficult because of the cost of the land and the broadcast technology you need. If you are a streaming service, you don't have any of that. If you say the only place you could get CBS Boston is on Apple TV, I mean, you're going to come right out of the gates. You're cutting your cost by millions instantly by doing that. So it makes sense. But then people like Dave who say, I don't want to stream anything like that. I want to put my cable on and I want to watch it like I always have. Mm-hmm. It's all about the next generation of kids like my daughter who's 9, who has no qualms about watching everything on YouTube or Apple TV or like, it's just what she's used to. If it's not on her iPad, she's not watching it. So she doesn't know what cable is. She's like, what the hell's cable? So there's going to be kids who are coming of age.
Got rid of cable. And the next thing you know, we're like, oh yeah, we'll pay for 20 apps. And now it's kind of just like, damn it, I just want it in one effing place.
That I think that will happen. I think we're going to see some type of, I don't want to say like a centralized hub like cable, but I do think there's going to be something along those lines where you're going to pay one price for multiple applications, and maybe it might be companies buying into other companies up. But I think you're right. I think people are annoyed with having Hulu, Apple TV, Netflix, Amazon, like those are all just monthly charges that constantly you're like, what the hell am I doing with all of this? I completely agree. Okay. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to give the boys what I'm betting here with betting. All right. So this is dumpster diving at its finest here, Emerson. Do you know where the University of Southern Indiana is located?
Yeah, I know it's in the southern part of the state.
It's in Southern Indiana. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. That's all I know.
Help me out.
But I have bets going. I have this college basketball trend that I've been betting where teams that lose on the road in conference play, who come back home, who play at home as home dogs.
Okay.
I've been betting this. I'm 9-2 betting this week, this trend. So I am riding it here with Southern Indiana at +3.5 up against Arkansas Little Rock. This is a bet it and forget it game. I have no idea what TV network even going to carry this thing tonight, but that is my first play in college basketball. My second play is out west here with Cal State Fullerton. I do know where that school is, up against UC Davis. It's the same trend. They lost on the road. They come back home. I got a 2-point home dog. I have amended this trend for you guys who have been following this. I'm no longer going to play it if it's 4.5 points or higher. I'm not going to play it because last night Auburn destroyed Vanderbilt and Providence. So I have amended it. So if it's 4.5 points or higher, I'm not touching it as a home dog, but these are under 4.5, obviously. The one game I will get your take on, Illinois and Michigan tonight. How do you feel about the Illini tonight? Have you watched any Illinois Big Ten basketball other than Purdue?
No. So fill me in right now, please.
So this is Michigan has played really poorly in the Big Ten. They were at home against Ohio State. They won their last game. Illinois is a small road favorite. I'm really scared about betting teams on the road right now in college basketball. So I'm leaning towards taking Illinois tonight at 2.5 because I do think they win the game, but it's a tough one. I will get your take on this parlay though. Bruins are at home against the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, baby, that's
Swayman's in net.
Okay.
Not Allmark. I'm going under 6.5 in that game. Dallas is at home tonight. And while Dallas has been a team that has been somewhat of a over team, they've been up and down. I'm going to take under for the Dallas Stars tonight. Under 6.5 for the Dallas Stars tonight. I'm trying to make sure I can pull the right where they are tonight. They're on the road they're at the Flyers. Flyers have been a home team. Dallas has been a road under team. I'm taking the under 6.5 there. And then Vegas is at home here tonight. 5.5 is the total for Las Vegas. They can't score, but Rangers, Shesterkin's been giving up 3 goals a game almost every game, and Logan Thompson's going tonight. Rangers are a road team. Plus 463 parlay.
Yeah, I mean, why the hell not? I can really speak mostly to Boston because I know Boston and the Avs play each other extremely tight. Last meeting had 7 goals, right? But 6 of the last 8 have stayed under that 6.5 number. So I do not disagree with that at all.
I like that. Let's see. We now go to our super chat. I think we got all of them, I believe. We got all of our super chats. We got Sonic in here with that for Emerson for his appearance fee. Emerson, why haven't you brought up the UCF? You did bring up UCF, right?
Yeah, I eventually did. What I did is I let it happen naturally here, boys and girls. That's what I did, because it started perfectly when Dave's like, tell me about your entire life. And I'm like, okay, here we go. The show's going to last another 5 fucking hours.
It's great. And then thoughts are with you, Emerson. Good luck to Dave's daughter playing school and ball. Can't wait for the Super Bowl. We can't either. Winning Las Vegas. Thank you. We'll get you that BVB pink hat for sure. We'll figure out a way to do that. Favorite thing about today, E, we end the show with something positive. We know you're a positive person. So what are you thankful for? What are you excited about today here on Thursday?
Oh, let's see. I'm all right. Just because it kind of, now I know the actual story is a little old, but it had me thinking a little bit today after my experience in the sauna.
Yes.
I am thankful for the Bass Pro Shops aquarium guy.
Oh,
and
okay.
Why is that? Is because when that video came out and he was having this naked meltdown in the large aquarium in a Bass Pro Shops, I showed my wife the video. And she said,
where was his man parts?
And I said,
where was it?
Exactly.
It was gone.
And I said, you, honey, are lucky to have me as your husband, because compared to this jamoke, daddy's hung like a horse.
I mean, that was, you looked at that, you're like, everybody had the same reaction. Wait,
I'm like,
the guy? That's a guy? I'd be naked and pissed off too if I was walking around with that thing.
He walked so we could run.
He was mad. He was like, I'm getting naked. You all can deal with what I got to deal with every single day. Every time I go to take a leak, I got to stare down and go, what the hell is that? My mom and dad bless me with that thimble. What are we doing? My goodness gracious. My favorite thing about today is you, Emerson. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. This was phenomenal to do this show with you today. We're doing it again.
Today was fun as hell. Honestly, I can't believe we've been on for 2 hours.
That's the show, man.
By.
That's the show. It goes.
Yeah.
Dave will be back tomorrow. I think Dave's going to hang with us more tomorrow on Roll Call Friday. I have no idea how we're doing Roll Call Friday, guys. Just FYI, it might simply just be like doing this. Okay. We may roll call it on the screen, and that's how we're going to roll call tomorrow. I'll talk to Dave a little bit tonight about the best way of doing it, but it will be a Roll Call Friday tomorrow. Emerson's coming back. I'm coming back. Sharapan will be live. I think he'll still be in Philly tomorrow before he goes up to New Jersey.
Yeah.
So he'll be with us tomorrow.
He's trying to get out of moving. We know that. He's trying.
You can't move in the snow. You can't do it. It's just, you absolutely cannot do it. It's the worst. Everything gets wet. It sucks. You slip, you fall. Moving sucks as is. Moving in a dorm sucks as is. You're in Boston. You know what that's like.
Dude,
it's
imagine though, how crazy Saturday is going to be for him if nobody moves in on Friday and it's even more people all on one day. I think if you can make it work, you try to make it work.
But remember,
take advantage of people not going in and out.
It's a mid-semester move-in. It's not like the summer where everyone's coming back. A lot of kids will already have their stuff there. So that's the one break, is it's a mid-semester move-in. So that would be a little bit less, but you're right. It's going to be slippery and nasty and just, So we'll get a full breakdown from Dave coming up tomorrow. Okay. He's Emerson. I'm Matt. We're back tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe button. We thank you guys for being here. You're the best. We see you on a Roll Call Friday coming up tomorrow.